Hello and welcome back everybody to another round of the Virtual Drift Championship. This time we're at Autopolis with a brand new layout in the reverse layout that we saw back in 2020, but going the right way around the track. And what an exciting session of qualifying that we had earlier today. Again, my name is Craig. With me as always is Tanner. What's going on, dude?
Just to go off of what you said, qualifying, insane. If you missed it, after this, go back and watch it. I mean, our lowest score was an 89. Our highest score by the current rookie of the year, Darius Ostrich, with a 94.7. It was absolute madness. Every driver was on it. Every driver was drawing the perfect line, and battles are just going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a ton of 90s across the board, as you see on your screen there as we shuffle through those top qualifying drivers. We'll bring up today's current bracket as well. What a crazy battle we have to start things off for us. I mean, Darius Ostrika and Peter will be going at it. Darius, our current rookie of the year so far, and Peter just joining us coming from DCGP and looking good in qualifying as well. Even though he fell into the 32nd position, he was still just shy of that 90. And again, if you're just now joining us and missed the line map, here it is up on the screen. Start of the course is on the right-hand side this time. And entering in with your first decel zone along clip 1, your first outside zone, driving into clip 2. And that clip 2 is purposely placed right on the edge of the track rather than the rumble strip to show that those lead drivers need to get around that clip and not on the rumble strip. And then into clip 3, your next outside zone, transitioning across for your next inside clip at clip 4, back out to the outside for clip 5, down to clip 6, and then your last and final transition with that decel zone coming into clip 7 and a full long outside zone to finish out the course. Very exciting, as we saw in qualifying. And let's see if we have those drivers at the line ready to go. And we do. Darius Ostrika ready to go.
Yeah, Darius Ostrika, again, coming off that 94.7 qualifying run, getting him the top spot in the lead lane. Get in the chase position is Peter, ready to chase them down. The light goes solid. Off they go for the first battle of round 6, the Virtual Drift Championship. Already Darius out to a strong lead. Taking that inside lane, though, is Peter, trying to keep him on that door, giving him a couple nudges, trying to correct his angle. But look at Darius out front, just sticking the car exactly where it needs to be. It's like it's a magnet on that track. But Peter keeping that pressure on him all the way through to the end.
Yeah, what a way to start things out here in the top 32. We'll go to this replay again. Darius out front and making a statement through turn 1, and really right out the gate, really good start. Big gap right there off the beginning of the course, and Peter does end up reeling him in, but sacrifices a lot of that line back in that chase position, gives him a little tap there in that chase position, and just great transition to finish things out from Darius Ostrika as he sort of gets pushed across the finish line there.
Yeah, Peter was just putting on all the pressure, wanting him to go faster, get that throttle foot down. But now they're back at the start line and ready to do battle one more time on the second half of this battle. Peter out front in the lead position. Darius Ostrika giving chase. The light goes solid and off they go through that start gate, down the straight and to the initiation. Peter right to angle off the bat, but there's Darius already in closer proximity than Peter was off that initiation, leaving almost no room for that transition. Rubbing wheels on the door, coming straight through that inside clip beautifully. One last transition. Off goes Peter into the grass, off the track, and Darius goes around him and takes that round.
Yeah, even right off the jump, Darius Ostrika was applying the pressure in that chase position. Peter was doing a pretty good job in the lead as well. Super smooth initiation there, gets out to the next outside zone, a little bit shallow there, but again, Darius right there with him in the pocket in that chase position as they come down along that third inside clip. Last and final transition, Peter makes it a little bit late, goes off the track, and Darius continues on. And I'm going to assume he is going to get the win here today. Darius Ostrika on the left, Peter on the right. Winner goes on into the top 16. And there it is. All three judges unanimous decision. Darius Ostrich gets the win and again moves on into the top 16.
Darius Ostrich really coming to his own on this course and hoping to take that first place in qualifying all the way to the finish. So we have our next battle up. Hines in the Pro Drift Academy S15 in that lead position up against Masashi Yoshida in that R33 in the chase. We wait for those lights to ignite so these drivers can get underway for the second battle here in the top 32. Like they're ready to go. The lights are on. They go solid. Hines out front. Yoshida in that chase position. Off to a good start as both drivers initiating in right to angle as Allen. But look at Yoshida right up on the door of that inside clip. Leaves the room for the transition. And now coming back at Hines, sticking right to that quarter panel as they come through that last inside clip. Now for the dive into the outer zone. Look at the pressure that Yoshida is putting on to Hines all the way to the finish. That was one intense battle.
Absolutely. We'll go back to the replay, of course. Hines out front and really being chased down by Masashi Yoshida in that R33, jumping onto the door quickly. Allen filling that next outside zone, but right along that bumper is Masashi, staying in the pocket of Hines as he continues on a very good lead run here all the way up to the track edge. But again, a little tap there from Masashi in that chase position before they cross that finish line.
What a battle. And I mean, Yoshida has just been on fire since the last round. He's really come to his own in that R33, and he's really showing that he's stepped it up and he's ready to compete with the big boys. And Hines, he's no favor to losing these battles, so he's going to put everything on it for this one. Masashi initiates. There's Hines right there on the quarter panel, maybe even a little closer as they come through that outer clip. Now to do the transition. Oh, Allen's got to get up there, got to get that proximity. Yoshida was a lot closer on his. They transition and come through that final outer zone, but there it is. Hines putting it on the door, giving him a little tap as they come through that final finish line.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find the words there after this top 32 battle between these two. This time, Masashi out front. Really good lead line through turn one here. Fills that next outside zone very nicely. Allen waiting on that transition. Does give up a little bit of room there at the beginning of the power alley, but then jumps back into the pocket of Masashi. But look at there, all the way up onto the track edge. Little bit of bump there before crossing the finish line. And we'll go to the judges. Masashi on the right, Allen on the left. Or could we see him go one more time? Super even between these two. And look at their unanimous decision. Hines gets the win and moves on into the top 16 after that insane battle.
I think that's going to come down to the chase on both those drivers is probably what they were looking at there, in my own opinion on that. So, I mean, good job, though, from Yoshida. Really put the aggression towards Hines. As we have our next driver pairing at the line, Victor Alves in that lead position in his S15 up against Daniel Mora in the BMW in that chase position. So here they go. Victor was looking great in qualifying and practice. Let's see. Daniel Mora was right there too, initiating in. Daniel Mora pushing him through that first inside clip, diving back down the inside of Victor Alves. Victor Alves doing a very good job in the lead, but Daniel Mora pouring on that pressure. And this is going to be the theme of the day. How close can we get? As Daniel Mora comes around that final, giving Victor Alves a little push just before the finish.
Yeah, scrappy first half of their battle here. As we go back to the replay, Victor Alves out front being chased down by Daniel Mora, and Victor entering in, leaves that outside super quickly, goes across that rumble strip, which judges don't want to see, but again, Daniel gives him a tap in that chase. Victor comes up short of that outside zone, but they continue on with a decent battle here. Victor settling into the last outside zone, does make a little bit of an angle correction there to get around that turn, but overall, again, scrappy first half of their battle here in the top 32.
Yeah, it's we thought the top 32 was going to be tight, and it already is. I mean, even something as small as just small mistakes in your chase position can cost you a battle. And that's what it's going to really come down to. You can lay down a really good lead run, but you got to do the exact same in your chase, which we're going to try and see here. Victor Alves in the chase position. Daniel Mora now in the lead lane. The light goes solid, and off they go. A little bit of a jump from the chase position, but they are allowed to do that to try and keep up. Daniel Mora initiates in. There's Victor Alves right there with them, keeping a good proximity through those first 3 clips. They transition into this power alley section. Victor Alves keeping a good proximity, not too close, not being too aggressive, leaves the room for the transition for this final outside zone. Daniel Mora really laying it down here, and there's the proximity back from Victor Alves at the finish.
Yeah, certainly, but a really big mistake there out front from Daniel Mora as we go back to the replay. Here he is entering in on a very nice line through turn 1 here, grabs that inside clip, works out to the outside, fills that zone, makes his transition across, but here he goes wide, drops a little bit of tire, you see some dirt pop up, he goes wide for inside clip 3. Victor doing a really good job in that chase position to wait and let him transition across that track to finish out the run. And we go to the judges, Victor on the left, Daniel on the right. And winner moves on into the top 16. We'll see him later today. And there it is. Victor Alves gets the win. Unanimous decision from all 3 judges. And we'll move on to our next battle.
Yeah, good job there from Victor Alves in securing that win. And now Victor Lacharas, not to get them confused, in that 240SX in the lead lane, up against Kevin Stump in the new S15 of his, that Hankook S15, ready to do their battle to see who's going to go see Victor Alves in the top 16. Wait for all of them to be ready and turn on those lights. We want to thank everybody for joining us here in the top 32 for the round 6 of the Virtual Drift Championships, powered by Next Level Racing and sponsored by Grip Royal and Tire Stacks. And there we go. The lights turn on and off they go. Victor Lacharas was super dialed in qualifying, but Kevin Stump is just on a tear in that S15. Huge gap right out of the initiation. Victor Lacharas sending it in that 180SX of his. Huge gap build up. Kevin Stump is having to cut a lot of line to try and regain that proximity, but Victor just holding the car exactly where it needs to go. But now starting to regain some of that proximity is Kevin Stump, but that was a huge jump off of that start line.
Yeah, it sure was, and we kind of saw that from Victor Lacharas in qualifying. He was super fast through turn 1. As you see him enter here, pick up throttle quickly, and just move through that first turn with a ton of speed. Does come up a little short of that next outside zone, but then gets onto a really good line, while Kevin, as you pointed out, cuts a lot of that line in the chase, but he does do a good job to catch back up. It actually looks like he may have dropped a tire back there in that chase position as he was stuck in that smoke from Victor Lacharas out front.
Now they're switched around. Kevin Stump in the lead lane. Victor Lacharas ready to give chase. The lights go. Kevin Stump gets off the line. Victor Lacharas right there with him. Maybe even a little ahead. Allowed to let that lead driver through. Victor initiating in. Kevin Stump looking good out front. Maybe a little wide there for that inside clip. Lacharas sticking it to the door, leaving that room and that proximity as they come through the next inside clip. One last transition before. Whoa! Victor Lacharas hitting the back bumper of Kevin Stump, sending him offline before the transition was complete into that final corner.
Yeah, it sure did, and it actually happened before that as well. On the very first transition, I believe Victor got a little bit of that rear bumper. It didn't affect the run too much, as you see Kevin go a little bit wide there, and then right there, that little bumper tap. They keep things going, though, as if it didn't really happen all that much. And then this last and final transition, same thing, gets a little bit too much, hits the, right behind the car, sends it a little bit forward, and off Kevin Stump goes. We'll go to the judges here. Victor Lacharas on the left, Kevin Stump on the right. Still picturing his 400Z there. Which I believe he's actually going to release that car soon.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I've been seeing it on social medias. Go check him out. Been working hard on getting both of the cars ready for release. And judges are just going to review that contact. Go back on stream and slow it down quarter speed if they need to.
Make sure that it wasn't Kevin Stump that maybe slowed up too much in the decel zone, or if it was just Victor Lacharas just pushing too hard and trying to stay as close as possible into that final outer zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the previous contact before, it almost makes, you know, you want to go to the side of he was maybe pushing a little bit too hard, possibly all the way through the course. Now, Kevin did go a little bit wide, and judges mainly want to see drivers stay off the rumble strip at that second outside zone. But look at there, Kevin Stump is going to get the win, and it is going to come down to that contact. And we'll see him later on into the top 16.
There we go. Kevin Stump moving on to see Victor Alves, and that's already the first 4 battles of the top 32. That flew by.
Yeah, it certainly did. Just moving on along through this top 32. And if you're not watching on the bracket there, the link is pinned up into the comments. But there it is on the screen. Darius Ostrich getting the win. Moving on, he'll face Alan Hines in the top 16. That's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
Victor Alves and Kevin Stump into the top 16 as well. But up next, Shetwee and Pavel Gross.
And after that, Poleski and Brandon Gardner, Dmitry Mitten, Zach O'Sullivan, and Erica Zyrkus and Mustafa Amine. Hope all you are enjoying the live stream today. Hopefully you were here for qualifying and saw the craziness that it was. But if not, and you're just joining us, welcome along. The first 4 battles are done and dusted, and it has been a crazy 4 battles already. Every driver has just brought their A game to this wonderful Autopolis circuit.
Yeah, really fun layout with this one. Tricky last and final transition, but these drivers figured it out quickly, as we saw with qualifying. Just a ton of 90s across the board. Had to get an 89 to even get into the top 32. And they're showing off in battles here already in the top 32.
Yeah, they are. And it's just, it's insane, the level of driving, like I said, this year. And even to see it improving from when we started in round 1, where we were already like, wow, we're, 86s, 87s to get in the top 32. Now we're at an 89. Getting to the top 32. We still have 2 more rounds left. We could even see a 90 to get into the top 32 at one point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just waiting on this next group to get fully loaded in. We don't want anybody joining during a run, as that can create little hiccups, almost like little lag spikes. Play a set of courses, you probably have experienced this, especially in VR. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible in VR.
Yeah, you get that little stutter, and then all of a sudden you're in the dirt. You don't want that.
Yeah, you just skipped like 150 feet.
But I mean, rumors on in Assetto Corsa too, which would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looks like we'll have to wait a few years, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too. Me as well. Alrighty, our next battle coming up to the line. Duelerman Shetwee. Shetwee, there we go. In that Hankook S15. Beside him, the rotary-powered S14 of Pavel Gross. The light goes green and off they go. Well, solid, then off they go. Good initiation, right to angle. Look at, oh, the chase driver washing out big time, trying to stick with Abdulrahman as they come through the next inside clip and into this powerhouse section. Now the proximity coming from the chase of Pavel into this final outer zone. Pavel really trying to get it up onto that door. Can he get closer in proximity? And what a lead run from Shetwee.
Yeah, exciting first half of their battle, but I'd say the mistake from Shetwee out front here on initiation might be the cause of Pavel. Well, I mean, it's really a mix of them both. Shetwee on a little bit too far of an inside line, settling in with too much angle there, but you see Pavel in the chase washing that front out and really understeering through that first turn. Didn't really get settled in onto the angle that he want to, but either way they continue on with their run after it, and ends up being a pretty good battle to start things off between these two.
It sure is, as the sun starts to set here at the Autopolis circuit, with now Pavel Gross in the lead lane and getting chased down by Abdulrahman. Light goes solid and off they go for their second run. The rotary powered S14 initiates. Good initiation, right to angle. But there's Abdulrahman trying to get that proximity right away. Bumper to bumper on that transition. Look at him pushing, rubbing the tires, getting it through that next inside clip. Abdulrahman is leaving no room for error. They transition, drops the tire, goes Pavel, keeping it in that dirt. And right away, Abdulrahman's trying to keep it with them and slow that car down at the same time. What good driving from that chase driver.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a couple of taps there, but it looks like it was already Pavel going off and dropping tire along that last outside zone. Here they go through the second outside zone there, and as you pointed out, just bumper to bumper and then onto the door, giving Pavel tiny taps as they work their way through that power alley. And then, yeah, you see Pavel go a little bit too wide. He comes out of that throttle just a little bit trying to grip that car up, but does lose momentum. And then you see Shetwee come and they give him a little tap, sending him off course just a little bit extra, but they do a good job to keep it going. We'll go to those judges. Shetwee on the left, Pavel Gross on the right. And there it is, Chris going with Shetwee, and Carl and Matt. Carl filling in for Ed today. Choose Shetwee, and we'll see him into the top 16 later on today.
Good job by Shetwee. Is now our next battle at the line. Tikhon Poleski in that beautiful S14 in the lead position up against Brandon Gardner in his Infinity in the chase. The light goes solid and off we go. A good start there from Tikhon, almost walking away from Brandon at the start. Initiates in and throws it in. Look at that proximity gap after that inside clip. Still can't get there. Brandon's got to push up on Tikhon. Tikhon is a rocket out here. Brandon trying his hardest in that chase position, but doing a very good job. Tikhon putting that car exactly where it needs to go. The proximity's there on the door from Brandon as they finish out this run.
Wow, what a start from Tikhon Poleski. So we watch that light. He doesn't jump it at all. Brandon just leaves the line at the same time he does, but Tikhon just out like a rocket ship and really continues that through turn one. And there you see Brandon getting back into the pocket and staying with Tikhon throughout the remainder of this beautiful lead run out front from Tikhon Poleski, just following that white track edge line. And across that finish line, we'll go to the second half of their battle.
Well, Brandon already back at the line. Tikhon just turning around now. What is going to happen here? Brandon on the back foot a little bit after that insane getaway from Tikhon Poleski. He's got to pull it out here, because having Tikhon in the chase position, that is a scary thing to have behind you, that green S14. So we see Brandon get off the line, initiating in. There's Tikhon already right there on the door of Brandon Gardner. Brandon Gardner looking good through these first three clips so far. Look at that, rubbing wheel to wheel, door to door is Tikhon onto Brandon Gardner. Brandon Gardner's got to make this transition work, and there's Tikhon again right there on the door, gives him a little love tap at the end, but Brandon holds on.
Oh man, just applying the pressure anyway after clearly having the advantage going into the second half of this battle. Brandon doing a really good job with that initiation. Now he does end up a little bit on the inside of that first inside clip, but continues on through the power alley on a good line, but Tikon just not letting him go. Jumps back onto the door for the last and final outside zone. And again, as you pointed out, just giving him a little tap. And across that finish line, here we go to the judges. Tikon on the left, Brandon on the right. And Chris, Carl, and Matt today. Carl filling in for Ed are your three judges. We wait on them to give us their decision here between these two.
Just amazing at how well all these drivers are doing. I mean, every battle feels like a final battle.
And there it is. Chris and Matt choose Tikon, and Carl going with a one more time there, wanting to see it again.
Wow, that's a crazy split, but sadly with the 2 up, Tikon does get the win. So Tikon will go to see Abdulrahman in the top 16 as we have our next battle here at the line. Dimitri Mitten in that lead position in his S15 up against Zach O'Sullivan. Alan Hines made it through. Tikon's made it through. They're getting points. Zach needs to also get through, but Dimitri Mitten stands in his way, initiates in, looking good as Dimitri, but there's Zach trying to push up onto that door off that initiation. Dimitri putting a good lead line here, but look at the proximity from Zach. Rubbing wheels, rubbing doors. Zach really going for it here as they transition. Oh, and a hit from Zach that pushes Dimitri Mitten off course. Oh, that is not going to be good for Zach. He can't have those kind of contacts.
No, he sure can't. And here we go back to the replay, and we'll pay attention to it more. There is a decel zone on that last and final transition before coming into that outside zone. Drivers need to pick up throttle as soon as they can there, as soon as they really enter that outside zone. So it's going to come down to this. I mean, it looks clean. It looks like he floated in there. The smoke started rising again, and man, maybe Zach just pushing a little bit too hard. Judges are really gonna have to look that one over a couple of times and make a decision on some unfortunate contact.
Yeah, and I mean, Zach was looking amazing through practice. But Dimitri Mitten, he's here to make a statement. He wants to advance on to that top 16. So now it's the second half of the battle. Zach O'Sullivan out front, Dimitri Mitten ready to give chase. The lights ignite and go solid. Off they go for the second half of this battle. Let's hope for no more contact. Initiating in is Zach O'Sullivan. Right with him, though, is Dimitri Mitten. Sticking with him. Good line there through that inside clip to the outer zone. Transitioning through the power alley section. Dimitri Mitten really putting it on the door. Zach O'Sullivan as they come through that inside clip. They transition down into that outer zone. Get right up on the door again is Dimitri Mitten with no contact through the course. That is going to play heavy into the judges' hands.
Yeah, it certainly will. As we go back to the replay here, Zach again out front in that Supra. Nice smooth initiation from him. Dimitri sticking right with that Supra along the bumper there, giving up a little bit of room, but then jumping right back into the pocket, almost giving him a tap there as they come through that last and final inside clip. Good transition in. Zach picking that throttle back up quickly and works himself back out to that edge. And we go to the judges. Dimitri on the left, Zach on the right. But it's going to come down to that contact in the first half of their battle. And I think judges might take their time here and go over and make sure that they are making the right decision there.
That is how it seems. It's all going to come down to that contact. Could it have been Dimitri slowed up too much or Zach being too aggressive?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. sort of thing that I look back on it, if I remember right, is back in quali, one of Dimitri's runs, he kind of really put on the anchors coming into that last and final outside zone. And now what we saw, just a few minutes ago, it didn't look quite as bad. And it looks like he floated in there kind of nicely, but he dropped, a decent amount of momentum. It's really whether the judges think that he, lost too much momentum through that portion of the course, or Zach was pushing too hard.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to those judges. They're going to review it. They're going to look at all the tools available to them to be able to see, did he maybe apply too much brake in that decel zone? It is a decel zone, not a get on the brakes and come to a dead stop zone. So, easiest way to explain it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could have a shared fault there too, between both of them.
Very true.
Dropping, just that little bit too much momentum, but it wasn't enough to really cause it. And then the chase coming in a little bit too hot. But again, judges can slow down the stream and really take a look at everything. Could potentially go back on replays if needed.
Lots for them to look at.
Look at there. Wow. Chris going with Zach O'Sullivan. Dimitri Mitten does end up getting the win, though, from Carl and Matt. So we'll see Dimitri Mitten later on in the top 16.
Wow, what an upset to the scoreboards that'll have to the championship fight. This is really going to come down to the end as we have our next battle. Zyrkus in the lead lane up against Mustafa Amine in that chase position in that Hankook Tires S15. Wait for those lights to go. That is one cool little light pattern there from Ericus's car. That's going to make it very hard when it's pitch black out here and just the lights of the track being on. Off we go. The light goes solid and the battle is underway. Zyrkus off to a good start. Initiates in. Whoa! Tons of angle. Almost a reverse entry. And Ericus spins off that first corner.
Yeah, unfortunate one to see there. Very, very odd. We'll go back to the replay here. Wait on enough time to pass. Oh, there they go. Lights on. Clean start. Mustafa leaving the line just a little bit early. And then a big swing. And then, yeah, just an over-rotation from Zyrkus in that lead position. Again, just unfortunate to see from him. Very good driver. And, again, just over-rotating in the first turn.
Yeah, it's something that can happen. Battle nerves are a thing. Volley nerves are a thing. But we'll see how the second half of this battle goes. Amine out front now with Zyrkus giving chase. Off they go. Looking like a better start for both drivers. Swinging it in, getting to angle. And there's a huge dive from Zyrkus in that chase position. Keeping it up with Amine. Oh, wow. Door to door as they come through that outer zone, leaving a bit more room now for the final transition. And a hit from Zyrkus, sending Mustafa off course and into the wall.
Yeah, all the way across the lawn there into the wall. We'll go back to the replay. And again, Zyrkus just applying all types of pressure. But this initiation here from Mustafa, tons of style there. He holds on to that angle. Very small bobble there. Makes the transition. Zyrkus right on the bumper and then onto the door, giving him a little push through that power alley section. Last and final transition. And Zyrkus just pushing a little bit too hard. And you see Mustafa go all the way off into the wall. And we'll go to the judges, but I imagine Mustafa will get the win here in the top 32 and move on into the top 16. There it is, unanimous decision from all three judges, and we'll see him later on.
Well, we'll see him up against Dimitri Mitten in that top 16 as we're already loading the next group of drivers. How crazy is that? This is going by a lot quicker than I expected, but I feel like as we start getting down to the top 16, the top 8, top 4, the battles are going to get intense. We're going to see a lot of one more times because these drivers are just so dialed in.
Absolutely, and a decent group coming up as well. Darren Baker and Vojtech will be up next. Dan Dirks and Austin Zalewski, Andreas, Linnae, and Robert Kaczynski, and Reese Tatterson and Olivier Vlas.
I think we're just waiting on one driver. There he is, just loaded into the server now. Sweet. Darren Baker just coming in now. Wait for them to get to the line. Here comes Vojtech. Still waiting for Darren Baker.
Yeah, hearing on Discord, he said he is slowly loading in. Sounds like he needs an upgrade.
There we go. Baker is now in and ready to go. And there is the GTR of Darren Baker getting to the line. Beside him, Vojtech in that S15. Darren Baker qualifying second today with a crazy run. Let's see what he can do here in battles. Vojtech, though, ready to try and take that top 16 spot away from him. Off they go. The light goes solid. Darren Baker initiates in. Right with him is Vojtech, though, as they come through that inside clip. Good job there from the chase, just keeping that pressure on, keeping that proximity. Look at Darren Baker out front, putting that GTR exactly where it needs to be. And whoa! A huge spin from the chase driver trying to get up into the pocket of Darren Baker before they finish out that run.
Wow, something I think we haven't seen just yet on this track here. So we go back to the replay. Darren out front. Really good initiation there, smooth, down to the inside clip. Doesn't quite fill that next outside zone, but look at Vojtech in that chase right along the bumper and then jumping into the pocket. They keep things going through the power alley section. And then, yeah, Vojtech just over-rotating, maybe making his transition a little bit too soon there. But either way, shuts the run down, and we go to the second half of their battle.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anybody spin out there yet, but maybe just pushing a little too hard and got back on throttle a little too early, and that's what can happen. Vojtech out front in the lead position. Darren Baker ready to chase him down. The light goes solid. Off they go. The second half of this battle. Who advances on to the top 16? Initiating in is Vojtech. A good proximity being held by Darren Baker as they transition up the hill through that next inside clip. Getting real close to the doors, Darren Baker, but still leaving some proximity on the table as they come into that outer zone. Dropping a tire is Vojtech in that lead position. Slowing up the GTR's Darren Baker, but not making much contact as they cross that line.
Yeah, good job to stay off of him there and let the run continue on and finish out. So we go to the replay here. Vojtech out front and doing a good job here through turn one. Very nice along that inside clip. Fills that next outside zone. Darren doing a good job in the chase position there. Really good proximity to that lead. Last and final transition. And Vojtech sets in nicely at first, but then just works out a little bit too far. Dropping one of those tires, but again, keeping the run going, and we go to the judges. Darren Baker on the left, Vojtech on the right. And there it is, unanimous decision. Darren Baker gets the win and moves on into the top 16 in a wonderful battle between these two rookies.
Yeah, and a hard fought battle. The spin was just a sad thing to see happen, but it's what can happen here as we have our next battle already underway. Dan Dirks in that lead position, getting chased down by Austin Zalewski as they initiate in a huge gap from Dan Dirks, but there was a huge dive from that chase driver of Austin. Austin getting all over the door now of Dan Dirks after sleeping at the line a little bit. They come through that final inside clip. One last transition to the outer zone. Zalewski trying to get as close as he can. Dan maybe leaving that outside zone just a little bit, but they come across the line.
Yeah, it looked like Dan maybe decelled a little bit too long, holding on to that handbrake and off throttle coming into that last and final outside zone. Gets off to a good start here, but Austin jumps onto the door quickly as Dan leaves a little bit of room on that outside zone. A little bit too inside on inside clip 2, but good on 3. Last and final transition, and you see he picks up throttle after he's already in that outside zone for quite some time. But again, Austin doing a good job to give him that space, and they continue out with their run.
Well, and back around now at the start gate, Austin in the lead position. Dan Dirks ready to chase him down in that BMW. Let's see what they can pull off on the second half of this run. The lights go on and stay solid. That means they're allowed to get underway through the start gate nice and clean. Austin Zalewski lighting up those tires down that straightaway, initiates in. Huge gap from Dan Dirks off of that initiation, making it through to that next outer zone and transitioning into the power alley section. Not as deep into that inside clip as he could be. Dan Dirks really trying to get that proximity, but just can't seem to get close to Zalewski. Dan Dirks dropping a tire in the chase. Can't get close to Austin in that lead position as they finish out that run of theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin with a really good lead out front, as you pointed out, just burning down the tires through the run up, enters in nicely and holds that momentum through turn 1, picking up some here coming into the outside zone 2. Very nice along that inside clip, up onto the rumble just a little bit, but then down across that next inside clip nicely. Transitions in and picks up throttle almost immediately, holding that outside line and that gap against Dan Dirks in that chase position. And we go to the judges. Dan Dirks on the left, Austin Zalewski on the right. Winner moves on to face Darren Baker in the top 16, and there it is. Austin Zalewski gets the unanimous decision from all 3 judges and moves on into the top 16.
Good job there from Austin as we have another A90 Supra on the line. The A90 Supra of Pixel Esports, I think. No, what was his? Yeah, I can't remember
you're
his
right.
sponsor. No, I am right. Sweet. Pixel Esports of Andreas Linnae in that lead position up against the Team RPM 370Z of Robert Kwinsky. Sorry, Robert. I will do better. Off we go. The lights go green as they initiate in. Andreas right to angle off that initiation. Robert doing a good job at sticking with him, sacrificing maybe a little bit of angle, but Andreas is on a tear here. Taking a really deep inside is Robert to try and stick with Andreas, bumping him along that next inside clip, and that might have messed up Andreas's transition into this corner.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that, Tanner. We'll go back to the replay, and it is hard to see with all that new smoke from CSP. Andreas out front here in the replay. Smooth initiation. Does make a small angle correction there. Leaves a little bit of room on that outside zone. Robert doing a good job. Dives in. Very close to some contact, but yeah, that is really close there. And it does look like Andreas's car was maybe a little upset before making that last and final transition.
Maybe that bump just had a little too much speed and he couldn't get the car turned or slowed down enough, and that'll be for the judges to decide. We just call the action as we see it. Now, Robert out front in the 370Z. Andreas Linnae giving chase in his A90 Supra. The lights go solid. The second half of this battle is underway. Robert off to a good start here so far. Andreas right with him, though. Look at that proximity, not really matching the angle, but keeping it in drift. Andreas with another huge dive, hitting Robert and spinning him out. almost like a huge washout there from Andreas in that chase position.
Yeah, he made his transition there, and then it just looks like it really didn't set into the angle that he wanted. Kind of for the second time in the run, too. We'll go back to the replay here. Again, Robert out front, leaving the gate smoothly. They're side by side. And Andreas really going for it there. Again, doesn't really set on to the angle that he wants. Makes that transition, makes a huge dive. And then the car just pushes forward, making contact with Robert. And we'll go to the judges here. Andreas on the left, Robert on the right. Or, you know, could we have it one more time? If there was that little bit of contact there before the last and final transition on the first half, then you have Andreas making his contact in the chase position as well. And it's going to be a tough one because that was some contact that was really tough to see in the first half of that battle.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen here, in my opinion, is that one more time. But if not, then it will be Roberts all day. And I'm not sure if it's already shown on your end, but I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, we haven't not showing on my end on the graphics there.
Well, we do have it on our end if you want me to go ahead and say it.
No, Robert gets the win, unanimous decision.
Yeah, so they must have deemed that contact not Robert's fault. So we're on to our next battle, though. Reese Tatterson up against Olivier in that chase position. Reese Tatterson in that Project Academy S15. Really far inside on that inside clip. Olivier trying to stick with them as they go through the next inside clip. Olivier putting on that pressure on Reese Tatterson. Reese Tatterson trying to do the best he can out in that lead lane and putting the car where it needs to be. Olivier, though, keeping right there with them as they finish out this run.
Yeah, that was an exciting first half of this battle between these two. Reese Tatterson out front, Olivier giving chase as we go back to this replay here. Very small flick there, entry. Reese ending up a bit on the inside of turn one there, going up onto the rumble strip. Olivier doing a good job in the chase, though, to stay with him and stay on that same line. Smooth last transition by both of them. Reese leaving that outside just a little bit and then works back up to that white line. And there they go across the finish line.
But we're still making our way back to the start line as Olivier has forgot to turn off his AI line.
Yeah, I believe he did this last round too at Brno.
So. Yeah, at the Brno circuit. Yeah, he definitely did. But that's okay.
Hey, he's a skilled reverse driver.
Something you need to learn here in Canada. You need to use it quite often.
Oh, man, really?
Now we have Olivier in the lead position. Chasing him down is Reese Tatterson. Lights go solid and off they go. Olivier out front, Reese Tatterson right there with him, initiating in. And a good initiation there from Olivier. A little wide there on the inside clip, but not enough to really upset anything in the run. And there's Reese Tatterson putting it on the door of Olivier's car just before having to back out of it for that transition. They come around onto that outside zone and look at the proximity a little bit closer. A little tap there from Reese right at the back end of that outer zone, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go with the replay. Olivier out front this time, being chased down by Reese Tatterson. And snappy initiation from Olivier, goes just a tad wide for inside clip. Grabs that next outside zone. On a really good smooth line throughout the course, though, here. Very good last transition. Sets into the top of that turn. Keeps things going, and there's that bump from Reese Tatterson in that chase position. And here we go to the judges. Reese Tatterson on the left, Olivier on the right. And there we go. Reese Tatterson gets the unanimous decision and moves on into the top 16, where he'll face off against Robert Kaczynski.
What another amazing group of top 32 drivers. And lots happened in that one. There was a lot of upsets, a lot of ups and downs. A lot of lawn mowing. But we got one more group of the top 32 before we get into the top 16. Our next drivers up will be Lazou and Oliver Eppinger, Lacharas, Alacos, and Connor Christensen, Maxim Tingai, and Artem Matsushenko, Logan Daniels, and Cages Alunus. We just wait for everybody to get into the server. And we just want to thank everybody for joining us in this top 32. We will be going right through to the end, so don't go anywhere. So make sure you have a drink, stay hydrated, stick around for the wonderful battles that we have to bring you today. These drivers have been on point all day long, and it's just been awesome battle after awesome battle. We do watch the chat. We do see it. That's why we thank everybody. As here we go, Lazou in that lead position. Oliver Eppinger ready to give chase. Off they go. And initiating in Lazou out front. Look at the proximity already from Oliver Eppinger. Oliver Eppinger all over the door of Lazou off of that initiation and not leaving it as they come up into that next outer zone. Little bit of gap now as they come into the final transition, but another good push there from Oliver in that chase position. But Lazou doing a very good job in that lead as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Exciting start to this battle here as we go back to the replay. Lazou out front in that A90 versus the A80 in chase. And look at there, jumping onto the door quickly is Oliver Eppinger and his Supra. And again, through that first transition, gives up a little bit of space through that power alley, drops back, lets that transition happen, and then right back onto the door of Lazou out front. But again, Lazou doing a really good job in that lead position as well.
What a great start to the battle, but now Lazou's really got to bring that pressure on to Oliver. This is a battle for the Supras. Which one is it going to be, the A90 or the A80? As the light goes green, Oliver Eppinger gets out of the gate clean, and off they go to initiation. Oliver right there. And there's Lazou making that push, maybe going a little wide, falling a little bit behind, makes the transition work though. Oliver Eppinger really getting a gap out front there. Lazou trying to get up onto that door. One last transition into the outer zone. There's Lazou starting to close in on that proximity, maybe giving a little touch there to Oliver just before they cross the line.
Yeah, and here we go back to the replay. Oliver out front this time, leading Lazou through the course. And in his A80 Super versus the A90, does leave that first outside zone maybe a little bit early, but stays on the right line through inside cliff and into the next outside zone, and just pulling a gap on Lazou in that chase position. Last and final transition here, picking up that throttle quickly, back up to the top of that turn, and there's Lazou in that chase position right into the pocket. And we'll go to the judges. Lazou on the left, Oliver on the right. I think, if I'm honest, I think Oliver Eppinger is going to take home the win here with that aggression in the chase position. Had a really good lead out front, leaving a little bit of gap. Did leave some room on that first outside zone, but there it is. Unanimous decision from all three judges. Oliver Eppinger gets the win and moves on into the top 16 over Lazou.
Well, aggressive driving paid off for Oliver, and we have our next battle up at the line already with Lacharas Alacos up against Connor Christensen, who will go on to see Oliver Eppinger in the top 16. It'll be one of these two drivers after we see their battles. Harris waits at the line patiently as Connor Christensen shudders away. Big engine under his hood, causing the whole car to shake. The lights go solid and off they go. A good start there and through the gate cleanly. Lacharas starts the initiation in good, right to lock, as we see Connor Christensen starting to put that pressure on him though as they come through that outer zone, transitioning through to the top half of the course. Looking good. Connor Christensen really putting on the pressure as they transition. Ooh, a little bobble there from Lacharas, but Connor puts it right back on the door, giving him a couple love taps as they come across that line.
Yeah, he certainly did, and a wonderful way to apply that pressure before crossing that finish line. As we go back to the replay, Lacharas out front, and with a really good start, entering in, big flick, and stays on that angle, picks up about that third hash to the inside clip, fills the next outside zone, but there's Connor in that chase position, reeling him back in a little bit through this power alley section, and then dropping back for the last and final transition as they settle in to that last and final outside zone. Little bit of a tap there, but again, as you pointed out, just a little bobble from Lacharas out front as they settle into that last and final outside zone.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the second half of this battle goes. They are just turning around right now. Connor Christensen out front now in his S14. Giving chase is Lacharas in that BMW. And the light goes solid and off they go. Connor Christensen off to a good start so far. Lacharas having to brake a little bit to let Connor catch back up as he left the gate a little too early off the initiation, though the first three clips looking good so far. Lacharas applying the pressure as they come through the next outer zone down towards that inside. Look at Lacharas keeping it right there on the door of Connor Christensen. They come into the final outer zone. Off the track goes Connor Christensen and doesn't make it around that outer zone.
Yeah, unfortunate to see. That was super exciting there in the second half of their battle. And here we go with the replay. Connor out front, initiating in, but Lacharas jumping onto the door quickly, follows him through turn one as Connor makes a little angle correction. They continue on, zooming through this power alley section. Lacharas dropping back for the last and final transition, and there you see Connor just go a little bit too wide, drop one tire, and then just falls off the back of that outside zone. And here we go to the judges. Lacharas on the left, Connor on the right. I think Lacharas is going to get the win here. He certainly does. Unanimous decision, and he will go on to face Oliver Eppinger in the top 16.
Okay, I don't know what just happened to the chase. Oh, he's back. Okay. He flipped upside down and flew off screen very quickly. Let's hope there's no more issues. Maxime Tingai out front. Artem Matsushenko giving chase. Maxime in that FDRX7 and looking good. But that S14 of Artem right behind him as they come through the initiation and through those first three clips looking good. Artem putting some decent pressure and proximity, getting onto the door, maybe wheel to wheel as they transition one last time for that final outer zone. Maxime really putting down a good lead run here, but Artem right there with them that whole way through.
Yeah, Artem Matsushenko applying the pressure here in the first half of their battle. Here we go with that replay. Maxime out front in the RX-7. Artem chasing him down in the S14 and jumps onto the door quickly through turn one. Close to having a little bit of contact there as Maxime cuts a little bit of that line, continues on a nice one through power alley section. You see Artem giving up a little bit of his line in that chase position to stay on that proximity. Enters in a little bit shallow there back in that chase position, but then right back onto the door of Maxime out front.
Now it's time for Artem's turn in that lead lane. Maxime to chase him down. Lights go on and stay solid. Off they go for the second half of their battle. Artem off to a good start, avoiding all the cones in that getaway pit. So they try and initiate in, and Maxime so aggressive already right up to Artem as they transition into the next inside clip. And look at Maxime really trying to get it to him, but Artem's carrying a lot of speed as he transitions into this final outer zone. Maxime taking a little bit more of an inside line, trying to keep that proximity up to Artem, but just can't get it done.
Yeah, and here we go back to the replay again. Graphic a little bit backwards this time. Artem out front. And Maxime giving chase. Smooth initiation there. right along that inside clip. Maxime right there in chase, but then drops down low, sacrificing some line to try and stay with Artem. And quick on that last and final transition. Lots of momentum through there. Picks up that throttle, stays onto the course, and finishes it out strong as we go to the judges here. Maxime on the left, Artem on the right. And just waiting on those judges, Chris, Carl, and Matt today. Carl taking over for Ed. And look at there. So one more time across the board. Oh, excuse me. So Carl is going to choose Artem. And then one more time between Matt and Chris. So we will see him line back up for, I believe, our first one more time battle here in the top 32.
Yeah, it is. Our first one more time. We thought we were going to see more, but so far only one. Maxime Tingai back out front. Artem Matsushenko in that chase position. I just want to see them clean it up a little bit. So here we go. Maxime in the FDRX7, S14 of Artem. Initiating in is Maxime. Good initiation so far. Nice and clean to that inside clip, but there's Artem right there with them as they come through this power alley section. Artem really keeping that proximity towards Maxime as they come into the final outer zone. Artem trying to get it onto the door. Maxime on a wonderful lead run here as they finish out the run.
Yeah, it certainly was. Just overall really smooth from Maxime out front this time. And I really like the way he settled into that last and final outside zone as we take a look at this replay here. Good, smooth initiation. Leaves a little bit of room there between him and that chase. And then Artem along the bumper through that first transition and then down along that next inside clip there. And then that transition from Maxime settling into that white line along that edge. And there they go across that finish line.
Now for the second half of their one more time battle. Artem now out front. And Maxime ready to give chase. Will there be a defined winner at the end of this battle? We're going to find out right now. Artem gets out of the gate clean, heads down, initiates in. Maxime a little farther behind than last time, trying to make up that proximity as Artem keeps a good line through those first three clips coming up into the power alley section. A little washout from the chase position of Maxime. He quickly gets it back. They transition into the final outer zone. Maxime's got to make a push here, get that proximity in as Artem and them come across the line.
Wow, and the way Artem set into that last and final outside zone was fantastic as well. Again, just tons of momentum as he set into it. And here we go with that replay. Artem entering in, does sacrifice quite a bit of angle there and then picks up throttle kind of late, but he does end up on the right line. Good line through the next inside clip, and as you pointed out, a washout from Maxime in that chase position, almost straightening out, gets back into it, back onto the door of Artem. And there they go, finishing out the second half of their one more time battle. So we'll go to the judges. Maxime on the left, Artem on the right. And there it is. Artem Matsushenko gets the win this time and moves on into the top 16. And we've got just one more top 32 battle.
Good job there from Artem Matsushenko as we as we have our final top 32 battle. Logan Daniels in the S15 up against Alunus in that BMW. The lights go solid, and here we go for the final top 32 battle of round 6 here, the Virtual Drift Championship at Autopolis. Initiating in is Logan Daniels. Already initiated before him was Alunus as they come through those first two clips. Cage's really far inside, trying to regain the proximity as the speed from Logan Daniels is a lot coming through that outer zone. Dropping a tire is the lead position, and Cage's catches back up by the end of it.
Yeah, Cages did a good job at the end of the course there, but Logan got off to a really good start as we go back to the replay here. You see Caius entering maybe a little bit too soon. Ends up on the rumble strip back there in that chase position, really sacrificing some line and angle as he center punts that inside clip. Logan keeps going with a nice smooth run until here drops off one of those tires along that last and final outside zone, but is able to keep it going and opens the door for Chaos to get back onto the door before finishing that run.
Yeah, not a very clean chase there from Cages, but let's hope he does better here in his lead. Cages in the lead position, and Logan Daniels ready to chase him down for our final battle of the top 32. Lights go solid and off they go. Initiating in is Cages. Logan Daniels right there with them as they come through that inside clip and through the outer zone. Logan just keeping a good proximity at the moment as Cages comes through, pushing now, maybe giving a little tap there to the quarter panel of Cages' car as they come in. Oh, Logan Daniels going into the side of Cages' car.
Yeah, unfortunate one to see there. Yeah, we'll take a look back onto the replay here. Chaos out front getting chased down by Logan Daniels, and it was all going well until that last and final outside zone. Once again, Chaos with a really nice initiation and line through turn one, filling that next outside zone, grabs that inner clip very nicely with Logan Daniels right in that chase position, washing just a little bit, but it does set him up. And yeah, it looks like Logan just really makes a big dive in that chase position. And we'll go to the judges here. Logan Daniels on the left, Chaos on the right. As it seems like someone's car can't quite fire up. You're gonna lose your starter here soon, man. And there it is. Logan Daniels does get the win there. Yeah, hearing over Discord here from Chris giving an explanation directly to the drivers here. Chaos getting the fault there for that contact where they are deeming him decelling for really too long. We'll get rid of this. We'll bring up that line map one more time, and as you can see there, that last and final decel zone coming into the last and final outside zone. Drivers need to pick up that throttle quickly, and it is a decel zone, but drivers are also not allowed to really put on the anchors and slow down too much to where they're losing too much momentum, which really leaves the chase nowhere to go. It needs to be a smooth, quick right to angle there coming into that last and final outside zone. Pick up throttle really as fast as you can and keep that run going. So again, that's going to do it for the top 32. Logan Daniels, our last and final driver to make it into that top 16. So we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more main event top 16 action. Right, hello and welcome back everybody. Again, top 32 is done and complete, and we have made it on into the top 16. Here is your current bracket. Up onto the screen, Darius Ostrich and Alan Hines will be our very first top 16 battle. To start things out, Victor Alves and Kevin Stump next. Abdul Rahman Al Shetwee and Tikon Poleski. And then Dimitri Mitten and Mustafa will round out our first group of this top 16.
Yeah, and a great top 16 it's looked like too, and even this first battle. Darius Ostrich and Alan Hines. Darius Ostrich qualifying at the top with that 94.7, and Alan Hines making a statement as well. So this battle is going to be one to watch. Who will make it on to the top 8? Will it be Ostrich or will it be Alan Hines? Darius Ostrich in the BMW in that lead position. Alan Hines in the Pro Drift Academy S15. Let's see what they can do. First run of the top 16. Light goes solid and off they go. There's Ostrich getting away well. Alan Hines right there as they initiate in. Alan Hines already close off that initiation, but Ostrich doing a good line, rubbing the bumper as they cross across the transition, coming through the power alley section. A little bit of ground loss there from the chase driver of Alan Hines, but coming into that last sector now with that in that outer zone, Alan Hines is all over the door of Darius as they cross that finish.
Yeah, he certainly was, but it did look like Alan had to give up some of his line and angle in that chase to really stay on Darius Ostrich's door, as it looks like Darius has a really good pace throughout the course here. Very good line through turn 1, filling that next outside zone, and then right along the bumper as Alan Hines keeps things going, does drop down below that inside clip. And there they are, settling into that last and final outside zone. Darius right up along that track edge. There they go, finishing out the first half of their battle.
Oh, we knew this battle was going to be intense, and I think it's about to jump tenfold. So now we have Alan Hines in that lead position. Darius Ostrich ready to give chase. The light goes solid, and off we go. Good getaway from both drivers down that straight. Initiating in, Alan Hines right beside him. Darius Ostrich getting up onto the door through that inside clip, leaving almost as much room for the transition. But now a lot closer in proximity as Darius coming through that inside clip right on the door of Alan Hines, coming into the final outer zone. Look at the proximity. Darius Ostrich handing it to Alan Hines.
Yeah, he certainly did, and we'll go back to the replay here. Alan out front, Darius giving chase, and a smooth initiation from Alan. Great line through turn 1, but you see Darius right there with him. Drops back just enough for that transition to happen. Now he does sacrifice just a little bit of line there, but again, just right on the door of Alan Hines. Alan almost settling in a little bit too wide to that last and final outside zone. They keep things going, and we'll go to the judges. Darius Ostrich on the left, Alan Hines on the right. Who's going to get the win and be our first driver to make it into that top 8? And tough one to call here. We may even see him go one more time. This is an amazing battle between these two. And again, Darius, current rookie of the year, really bringing the fight to the veteran VDC driver, Alan Hines.
Long waits are always the best waits.
The anticipation is real. And there it is. So one more time from all 3 judges, the very first battle here in the top 16.
Well, we knew it was going to happen. And a first one more time battle at the top of the top 16.
Yeah, hearing
And this
Chris
isn't
on the Discord, he brought up, both of them sacrificing a bit of line and angle in their chase to really stick with that lead driver, and just very even between these two drivers.
well, and that's what we got here. And this is one of those ones where they don't want to see a cleaner run. They need a more definitive answer. So here we go. Darius Ostrika out front. Alan Hines, that Pro Drift Academy S15, giving chase as they come down and initiate in. Darius Ostrika is doing a good job. But right there, Alan Hines on the door, matching the angle this time as they come through that transition, leaving no room on the bumper. Look at Darius Ostrika out front, but the proximity from Alan Hines is real on this one, leaving no room for that transition either. And right on the door of Darius, matching that angle the whole way through.
Oh, man. Alan knew he had to turn it up, and he did exactly that in this chase position here as we go back to the replay. Darius doing a fantastic job out front once again. Again, he qualified first and just sticks to that line. Now, I do think there was a little bit of contact there on that first transition from Alan Hines in the chase, but Darius does a fantastic job to keep things going as if it didn't happen. There they go, door to door, and Alan just applying a ridiculous amount of pressure there in that chase.
Here they go back at the line. Alan Hines now in the lead. Darius Ostrika has got to bring the fire. Turn that car up to 11 and put the loud pedal down. Alan Hines ready to go. The light goes solid. And off they go. Alan Hines out front. Darius Ostrika giving chase, initiating in. And look at that! Already on the door and matching the angle was Darius Ostrika through those first three clipping points. And now already door to door as they come through that transition, leaving no room on the bumper. Right door to door again. Maybe a little bit of a tap there from Darius, but they cross the line side by side.
Yeah, insane battle here we have in the top 16. This time, Alan Hines out front in the second half of their one more time battle. And as you pointed out, Darius jumping onto the door. Now, he does sacrifice a little bit of angle there before making that first transition, but he does drop back and leave enough room for Alan to make that first transition and then right back onto the door again after the last and final one. And then a little bump there from Darius Ostrika in that chase position. And here we go, back to the judges again between these two. Darius on the left, Alan on the right. Or could we see him go one more time again here in the top 16?
It's definitely going to be a close call there. It's going to be close.
And there it is. So they're going to line up one more time for their second one more time battle. And again, here in the top 16 between these two.
This is insane. The second one more time battle between Darius Ostrika and Alan Hines. They're so close that the judges can't decide who wins. So now Darius Ostrika back in that lead position. The Pro Drift Academy S15 of Alan Hines in the chase for their one more time battle. The light goes solid and off they go. Darius Ostrika looking good out front, initiating in. Alan's even closer on the initiation. Oh, as they come through that outer zone, leaving just enough room for that transition. Alan Hines really trying to get on the door, and he is rubbing the bumper and rubbing the wheel along the door as they transition again. Maybe not leaving enough room for that transition. Look at that, sacrificing Spangle though and tapping Darius Ostrika as they cross the line.
Yeah, and I believe causing Darius to drop a little bit of tire there through the back half of that final outside zone. And here we go with this replay. Alan entering in right onto the door, but he does wash a bit. But I kind of like the strategy there as he gets to really make a dive through that first transition, not tapping the bumper this time, right up on the door through the entire power alley section. And then again here into the last and final outside zone. There's the little bit of tab and the tiny tire drop from Darius Ostrika out front.
What a battle this is unfolding to be. And this is all for the championship points. I mean, Darius is only about 100 points behind these guys, just a little much, sitting at 271 right now. So if he goes past this, he has a good chance of getting up there into those top 3 and taking home some cool VDC prizes by the end of the year. Initiating in, Alan Hines. Right there, though, is Darius Ostrich, looking good on the transition, trying to just stick with Alan Hines and put it on the door. Low proximity between the two. Good transition into this final outer zone. Look at that, right on the wheel, and no contact during this run.
Oh man, could that be the difference there? We'll go back to the replay once more. Again, the second half of their second one more time. Alan Hines out front, snappy initiation, and then Darius right onto the door. Smooth transition. Alan a little bit on the inside, as well as Darius through inside clip 2, very nice through 3, and then last and final transition, Alan giving up a little bit of room to that track edge, works himself back out there, and there they go, finishing out again the second one more time between these two in the top 16. Darius on the left, Alan on the right, as we go back to the judges once again. Man, I'm gonna be all tired out by the time.
Yeah, I know. We're only in the top 16. And I feel like every battle is going to be just like this. It's going to be close to decide who's going to win. Could we see a third one more time?
If we do, I would say bring up the next battle and then make them go. Let them cool off for a minute, and
I know in some drifting series they have a limit on how many one more times can actually happen one day. I can't remember if that's in our rule book or not, though.
The judges really taking their time here. I feel like they're yelling at each other up in in the other channel.
No, Alan. No, Darius. No, one more time.
Well, certainly, if we do have a winner, we'll have to get one of the judges down here with us, give us a quick explanation, because I mean, man, just so close between these two.
I mean, the rookie on a tear. I mean, it's kind of giving me, last season vibes with Zach O'Sullivan, right? When he went after these guys, and now we got Darius Ostrich doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one that's kind of been in the community for a while. Darius, remember doing a lot of DCGP and whatnot. Tsujigiri, I believe he competed at ESDA as well. And holy moly, look at there. We have another one more time between these two.
No shot. Wow. A third one more time battle. Woo! Okay, let's get hydrated here for a second for this one.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to bring them straight to the line. But, I mean, that's the same, longer time on that decision. They somewhat cooled down there before coming back to the line once more. Getting a very detailed explanation from Chris in Discord right now. And, just very even between them two, and we'll see him again.
Yeah, and the light's already going. Darius Ostrich out front. Alan Hines, the Pro Drift Academy, giving chase. Who's it going to be? The second half of the one more time, the one more time, the one more time battle. First half of the one more time, the one more time, the one more time battle. As they come through those first 3 clips, look at Alan Hines sticking right there with him. Washing out a little bit as Alan falling behind as they come through this transition into the outer zone. Now Alan Hines getting it on the door, trying to at least a little bit more proximity this time around from Alan, not as aggressive as his last one.
Yeah, insane even still as we go back to the replay here. Darius out front. And initiating in, once again, super smooth, and then right onto the door is Allen, but he gets up onto that inner rumble strip quite a bit, upsets the car, and then right back into it, dropping back as they work around that third inside clip, and then Allen making the dive once more in the chase position, setting up for that last and final outside zone, and we'll switch him around for the third time here in the top 16.
Ooh. Now, the second half of the one more time battle. Alan Hines out front in the Pro Drift Academy S15. Darius Ostrich and his BMW ready to chase him down. Who is it gonna be? Alan Hines or Darius Ostrich to go to the top 8. That's right, only the top 8. Look at that initiation! Right along the wall, coming into the collider a little bit without making contact. As they come through the top half, Ostrich is leaving no room for error into the outer zone, trying to get it up onto the door of Alan Hines and keeping it side by side the whole way around. That initiation, wow!
Yeah, we might just finally have a winner here as we go back to the replay. Alan Hines out front, initiating in with Darius right there onto the door. Maybe some slight contact, but then right along the bumper in that chase position, right up onto the door and into the pocket of that lead car of Alan Hines. Very nice last initiation into the final turn, and there they go across that finish line. Man, oh man, what a battle between these two. And again, y'all thought Elden Ring was hard. Darius Ostrich on the left and Alan Hines on the right.
I think we found the final boss. Man. Like the calm before the storm of what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I'm scared to see it light up with a one more time.
I don't know. I mean, there was a couple of places where you could have the argument of Darius maybe pushing a little bit too hard in that chase, but I understand it at the same time. Like, they've, been going crazy for the past 3 battles in a row.
Yep.
And you have to push as hard as you can. And it looks like Allen did the same thing in his chase, but came up a little bit short in some areas, while Darius really applied that pressure and aggression all through his chase. Both leads were really good as well. Darius maybe even a bit cleaner with his lead, as he's been all day qualifying first and just putting on a show here in the top 16.
Yeah, I mean, both these guys putting on a show. And I mean, you can even say the same as you said. Darius had some mistakes. I mean, Allen did too. He wasn't as close off that initiation. He was leaving a little bit more room. I see them driving away. What could that mean?
Whoa. So, it looks like we are wrong. Chris goes with it one more time, but Carl and Matt choose Alan Hines. We'll have to get judges in here to give us an explanation of this call here in the top 16.
Before they start this battle, hopefully they're listening. We do have our next drivers at the line, but we will wait. But
just waiting on it does look like we have Matt in here with us. Matt, yes.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so me and Carl gave the call.
Sure.
Oh yeah, we gave the call to Darius on that one, mainly because for me and Carl through the middle section of the course, or Alan, I said Alan, I misspoke. We gave the win to Alan. Darius lost because Alan carries more angle through the middle section in lead. Overall, they're fairly similar outside of those areas. They both cut the first corner in chase. Aggressive-wise, Alan has more aggression in the chase, and together the two of them, we went with Alan on that.
All right. Thank you for the explanation. And what a crazy battle between those two. And we've got our next battle lined up and ready to go.
It's an insane battle, and good job there to both drivers. And congrats to Alan for making it on through, as we have our next battle already at the line. Victor Alves in that lead position with Kevin Stump ready to give chase. Two S15s, but looking like Victor Alves is already out to a crazy start. Kevin Stump sleeping at the line as they transition up the hill now to come through the second half of this course through this power alley. Kevin Stump can't seem to get the power down to actually get up and get in proximity range of Victor Alves as they come through and finish out their run.
Yeah, crazy start from Victor Alves. And I think if I remember right, we kind of saw the same thing from Kevin Stump in his top 32 battle. Got off to a slow start and a big gap along turn 1 and then reels him back in, or tries his best to, as Victor Alves continues on with a really nice line through the course here. There you see Kevin Stump back into the fight in that chase position, but again, Victor has already made a statement here in the first half of their battle.
He sure has. Wait for them to get around back to the start gate here. There we go. Kevin Stump ready to do the second half of this battle in the lead position. Victor Alves giving chase. And off they go. Trying to get the power down. And initiating in Kevin Stump, but there's Victor Alves trying to go, but washing out a little bit. Not able to stick right with them as they transition up the hill to come up and try to gain that proximity. Victor Alves just hanging back a little bit as they transition to this final outer zone and trying to keep it nice and clean. Victor Alves just putting the car where he needs to put it and finishing out the run.
Yeah, good second half, but as you pointed out, a small mistake there from Victor Alves in the chase position through turn 1, as we see Kevin Stump enter in, pick up throttle, make a really good line there. You see Victor wash out some in that chase position, but then does a good job through the first transition of the course to reel Kevin back in, staying where he needs to, gives room for that last and final transition, and they continue on through this last and final outside zone. And we'll go to the judges here. Victor Alves on the left, Kevin Stump on the right. Winner moves on to face Alan Hines in the top 8.
A long wait.
Yeah, really breaking down the run. These judges making sure they're getting the call right. And again, it's just surprising to see Kevin Stump there again twice in that chase position. And there it is. Victor Alves gets the win. Unanimous decision from all 3 judges, and he moves on to face Alan Hines.
Looks like Alan Hines has another tough battle coming up, because Victor Alves, he's not one to shake a stick at. As we have our next battle at the line. The S15, the Hankook S15 of Abdulrahman Shetwee versus Tikhon Poleski, the task spot himself. Lights go green and underway we go for this battle. Shetwee off to a good start. Tikhon right there with him as they initiate in. Good job there from Tikhon to keep that proximity and that distance. Look at that transition right along the bumper, right together with each other. Nice and close as Tikhon, but Abdulrahman doing a great job out front here, putting the car there. But look at that proximity there from Tikhon as they come across the line.
Yeah, Tikhon applying the pressure as always in the chase position, but Shetwee doing a good job out front as well. Here we go with the replay. Big flick initiation once again from Abdulrahman. Hanging on to that line, and then right along that bumper is Tikhon Poleski. Staying with him through that power alley section of the course. Drops back just enough for that last and final transition. And then Shetwee doing a really good job to hang on to that track edge and keep things going. And we'll go to the second half of their battle here in the top 16.
Well, back at the line, they are T-Con in the lead position now. Abdulrahman Al-Shetwee giving chase. The lights go on and off they go. Good start there from T-Con right away as they initiate in a decent gap. Abdulrahman pushing way too hard, going off track and into the wall. Now it's all on T-Con. Got to finish out this run. Even if the chase driver falls off and the lead driver still has to finish. So T-Con's just going to get it here and do exactly what he needs to do to move on to the Great 8.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at the replay here. T-Con gets off to a really good start and leaves a gap on Al-Shetwee in the chase. They enter in, and it looks like Al-Shetwee just trying to make up that gap through turn 1, just way too quick. Front washes out, the whole car washes out and off track, and T-Con continues on with a really clean lead run out front. And I believe that is going to give him the win here today over Al-Shetwee. Al-Shetwee on the left, T-Con on the right. And there they go. Unanimous decision from all three judges. T-Con Poleski gets the win, and we'll see him later into the top 8.
We sure will, and good job there from T-Con, but also great from Abdulrahman to put on that fight to T-Con as we have our next battle. Dimitri Mitten in the lead position, and Mustafa Amine in the chase. Off they go. Dimitri Mitten sends it in. So does Mustafa. Looking really good. Lots of angle from Mustafa. Dimitri not filling that zone as fast as he could. Oh, but Mustafa hitting the front of Dimitri's car. Not upsetting him too much, though, and keeping that proximity now. They come into that final outside zone. Mustafa really trying to push up onto the door and gets there as they finish out this run.
Yeah, good start to the battle. And yeah, we believe we did have a little bit of contact there from the chase driver, Mustafa, in that S15, and here we go with the replay. Dimitri again out front. Good initiation. And there you see Mustafa giving up a little bit of that line as Dimitri falls short of outside zone 2. And then there's the contact from that chase driver. They keep things going on the correct line through that power alley section. Last and final transition. They keep things going while Dimitri leaves a little bit of room on the table in that last and final outside zone.
Here we go for the second half of their battle. Amine out front. Mitten giving chase. Lights go solid and off we go. Initiating in. Mustafa likes to do these big initiations, but Dimitri Mitten right there with him as they transition up the hill to the next inside clip. Look at the proximity from Dimitri right there up with them as they come through that next inside clip and transition for the final outer zone. Looking good from both drivers here as they come across that line door to door.
Yeah, fantastic second half of the battle here. Here's that replay. Mustafa out front and doing a fantastic job through his lead run here. But I think Dimitri may have been applying a little bit more pressure in that chase. Really clean. Sticking with him through this power alley section. No contact. But again, a cleaner lead out front from Mustafa as he settles into his last and final outside zone. Staying up on that track edge. But look at Dimitri in that chase. Staying right there with him. And we'll go to the judges. Dimitri on the left. Mustafa on the right. Winner moves on to face T-Con Poleski in the top 8. And there it is, Mustafa getting the win and moving on. and he'll face Tikhon Poleski in that top 8 later today. And that's going to do it for our first group of the top 16. We'll pull up that bracket. Link to the bracket can be found in the comments. And some crazy battles we've already had here in the top 16. Darius Ostrich and Alan Hines going at it 3 times. Victor Alves and Kevin Stump put on a show as well. Victor Alves moves ahead. Shetwee and Tikhon. Tikhon gets the win, and he'll move on to face Mustafa in the top 8. But next up, Darren Baker and Austin Zalewski, Robert Kaczynski and Reese Tatterson, Oliver Eppinger, Lacharas, Alacos, Artem Matsushenko, and Logan Daniels, all left to face off here in the top 16.
Yeah, sorry about that. Somehow my mic got muted. I don't even know how.
How rude.
Yeah. I was talking and then you started talking and I was like, oh, wow. Why? What? That's okay. We're professionals.
I'm going to put you down for a write-up.
All right. I understand.
That's strike 1, Tanner.
I mean, at least I got the track name right this year.
You sure?
Yes. Autopolis.
Manual Police.
Alrighty, as we have our next battle at the line, Darren Baker versus Austin Zalewski. They are heading down now. Off the line, Darren Baker initiates in. Austin right there with him, getting up on that door. Tons of angle there from Darren Baker, leaving no room for the transition. As Austin, though, getting right up on him in that Toyota Supra, keeping that proximity as they transition to the final outer zone. Look at how close Austin is to him, riding the wheel against Darren Baker all the way through to the end.
Wow, I mean, this almost kind of caught me off guard here, the battle between these two after our small break there. Darren Baker out front and his GTR being chased down by Austin Zalewski. Fantastic initiation by both of the drivers here. Austin right along the bumper as they make that first transition. They keep things going through the power alley section, filling that outside zone and then grabbing the inside clip. Beautiful last transition into the final outside zone. And look at there again, Austin just right there with him. Very smooth chase from Austin.
Yeah, Austin really laying it down here. I mean, kind of the battle of the new age. GTR versus new Supra. Darren Baker in the chase position. Austin now in the lead for the second half of their top 16 battle. Austin getting away clean, initiating in. Good initiation, but there's Darren Baker making a good push to try and get back up to the door. Ooh, just grazing the bumper as they make that transition. Darren Baker keeping that proximity, maybe not as close as Austin was in his chase run as we see them come up. Ooh, Darren Baker goes off, drops a tire, loses some proximity just before they come across the line.
Yeah, he certainly did there. Good catch. We'll go back to the replay here. Austin Zalewski out front, this time being chased down by Darren Baker. And all was going well again until that last and final outside zone. Here we are with Austin. Snap initiation does go a little bit wide on that inside clip, and then Darren right along the bumper once more in that transition, clean through that inside clip. The last and final transition here, picks up throttle quickly, but you see Darren's big GTR drops just a little bit of tire and he loses a bit of proximity in that chase. And we'll go to the judges here. Darren Baker on the left, Austin Zalewski on the right. And there it is. Austin Zalewski gets the win, and we'll see him in the top 8, where he'll face off against the winner of our next battle between Robert Kaczynski and Reese Tatterson.
Reese Tatterson in the Pro Drift Academy S15 in the lead position. Robert Kwinsky ready to chase him down in that Team RPM 370Z. Light goes solid and off we go. Reese Tatterson initiates in. Already a huge gap established from Robert off that line. as they transition up the hill. Now Robert's starting to catch back up and lay on that pressure. Will it be enough though? That was a huge gap off the start as they come into that final outer zone. Another dive there from our chase driver onto Reese Tatterson's door. But will that be enough? We'll see after the second half of this battle.
Yeah, we certainly will. And here we go with the replay of the first half. Reese Tatterson out front, Robert giving chase. And again, as you pointed out, just a huge gap before even initiating in. Reese on a really good line through turn one, filling that next outside zone. But he does come off throttle there for the first transition and really kind of opens the door for Robert to jump back into the fight. And there they go, settling into the last and final outside zone. Robert doing everything he can to reel him back in and does just that before crossing the finish line.
Well, let's see how the second half of this battle goes. Robert out front. Reese Tatterson now giving chase. Who will go to see Austin in the Grade 8? It's going to be one of these drivers, and we'll find out right now as they come down and off that start gate. Robert getting to angle right away, but there's already Reese Tatterson getting up on the door of Robert as they transition up the hill through the next inside clip. Big aggression and proximity from Reese Tatterson in that chase position. Robert Zalewski with a good transition into that final outer zone, but nowhere did it. Alan, yes, Pro Drift Academy, you do this to me every time. Does Reese get off his door?
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go with the replay. Robert out front this time. And smooth initiation once more from him. He does end up on the inside of that turn. Judges want to see him stay off that rumble strip in the lead position. But Reese does a good job to stay with him and stay in the pocket of that 370Z. Drops back for that last and final transition. Staying up on that track edge is Robert. And there they go, finishing out the second half of their battle. So that means we'll go to the judges. Reese on the left, Robert on the right. And there it is. Reese Tatterson gets the win, and we'll see him face off against Austin Zalewski in the top 8.
Good job there from Reese Tatterson on securing that win. But we have our next battle underway here. We're into the final 4 battles. In the lead position, Vacaris Alacos. Giving chase is Oliver Eppinger in that Toyota Supra. Ready to duke it out, initiating in. Vacaris, good initiation, but the aggression, and a hit there from the chase driver of Oliver Eppinger as they transition up the hill. But the aggression from Oliver, same in his last battle, right there beside Vacaris as they transition into this final outer zone. Looking good from both drivers, and again, that proximity from Oliver and that aggression. He is not letting up on that throttle pedal.
Not at all, and I like the strategy here on the run-up from Oliver Eppinger. He tucks back behind the lead super early and then enters in with him. Now, he does give him a little bit of tap after coming out of that angle just a little bit, but then gets right back into it. The car is doing a good job to keep things going as well on a good line through the power alley section. Snappy transition, keeps things going, and again, Oliver right there applying the pressure in that chase.
Yeah, Oliver on a tear here at the Autopolis circuit. He's making himself known with these crazy aggressive chase runs, but let's see if he can hold it in the lead. They're now at the start gate, switched around, and the lights are going to go out. Oliver Eppinger now leading. Vacaris Alacos giving chase. Toyota Supra of Oliver initiates in, and already a bigger gap between the two chase runs. We see them come up the hill, but now Vacaris starting to come back and answer back with a little bit more proximity, trying to get on the door of Oliver as he leaves the room for the transition, and they come through that final outer zone, trying to push, trying to get up there, and they finish out this run.
Yeah, Oliver maybe making a statement there here in the lead this time, and here we go with the replay. Clean out of the gate, Vacaris out to a quick start, and then they initiate in, and a big gap established between them two as Oliver continues on, and then Vacaris jumps back onto the door for the power alley section, gets left just a little bit there along that inside clip. Smooth transition into the final outside zone where he's up very close to that track edge, and there they go across that finish line. And here we go back to the judges. Vacaris on the left, Oliver Eppinger on the right. And there they go. Oliver Eppinger gets the win in that 880 Supra and moves on into the top 8, where he'll face off against the winner of our next battle.
Our next battle's at the line, and our final battle of the top 16. Logan Daniels in the S15 in the lead lane, getting chased down by Artem Matsushenko in that S14. The light goes solid, and off we go for this final battle before we get into the grade 8, initiating in Logan Daniels, but right there is Artem sticking with him as they come and transition up the hill. Artem trying to get up on that door and keep that proximity. Doing a good job, though, so far. Logan Daniels putting the car where it needs to go. Artem trying to make that final push now, get it up on the door right before they cross the finish line.
Yeah, good start to their battle here. Again, the last and final battle here in the top 16. Logan out front and does go a little bit inside here, leaving that outside line very soon, dropping a wheel there, and then shallow on outside zone 2. Picks up the next inside clip nicely, and a good line through power alley section as he's sacrificing just a little bit of angle there. Smooth transition to settle into the last and final outside zone, but there's Artem in that chase position applying the pressure as he too drives backwards through the course. And unfortunately, Tanner is muted on us again, and I'll take over.
Sorry
Artem.
about that. I don't know
There he is.
why that is happening. So here they come back through this final sector as Logan's been doing a good job keeping that proximity through most of this, aside from the start. And I apologize for everybody for being muted. I don't know why I was muted.
That's strike 2, Tanner. We go back to the replay here. Artem out front here. Good initiation, very snappy. Good line through turn 1 as well, filling that next outside zone. There's Logan trying to get back into the fight. As you see, Artem sacrificed just a little bit of angle there before getting to outside zone 3, but then pours it on around that inside clip 3. They continue on, leaving a little bit of room on the table for that last and final outside zone. But here we go to the judges. Logan Daniels on the left, Artem Matsushenko on the right. Again, winner will move on into the top 8 to face Oliver Eppinger. And there it is. Logan Daniels gets the win over Artem Matsushenko and moves on into the top 8. But good showing from Artem Matsushenko today. And just wonderful seeing him here competing with us for another round. Again, that is going to round out our top 16. Here's the bracket up on the screen. Link to the bracket can be found in the comments, pinned up top. And our first battle coming up here in the top 8 is Alan Hines and Victor Alves, Tikon Poleski and Mustafa Amine, Austin Zalewski and Reese Tatterson, Oliver Eppinger, and Logan Daniels to round out a very strong top 8.
Yeah, this top 8's looking really good, and it's going to be really exciting to see who makes it into the finals. I mean, we're so close already to being done, but there's still many battles left to go. So, here we go. The first of the Great 8, Victor Alves out front, Alan Hines giving chase. Victor Alves in his S15, the Pro Drift Academy driver, Alan Hines in his S15. Initiating in, Victor Alves. Good start off the initiation. Slowly does Alan Hines get up to that proximity, but not leaving enough room for the transition. Manages to not upset Victor Alves too much as they come through and transition into the outer zone. Now the proximity is there from Alan Hines. Been keeping that pressure on the whole time. But was that contact or was that lag?
I know, as when you said it too, and watching it, it was very close, right? I mean, it was almost weird how it happened. It did look like Allen didn't leave enough room, but the transition happened anyway. It was snappy, almost kind of late there. Yeah, very interesting. And it does maybe look like it was lag from Victor Alves. As we know, every once in a while, he does experience a little bit of problems there being in Brazil and then where our servers are located. But either way, I mean, they kept it going. And we'll see them line up for the second half of their battle.
Sure will, and they're already at the start gate. They want to get going. They want to know who's going to make it into the top 4. Alan Hines in the lead. Victor Alves giving chase through the start gate cleanly, and off they go. Alan Hines initiates in. Victor Alves right there with them, starting to catch up as they come through that next outer zone, leaving enough room for the transition, but hitting the front end of Alan's car. But it's not upsetting him too much, just makes him go wide for that inside clip. Now coming into the outer zone, lots of aggression from Victor Alves in that chase position, but that contact could mean everything.
Yeah, it certainly could, and we'll go back on the replay here. Alan Hines out front. Victor Alves doing everything he can to really chase him down and apply that pressure, and does a pretty good job until we have the contact, really diving onto the door. There's that little bit of contact. Alan drops a tire along outside zone 3 and then goes super wide for inside clip 3, but they do a good job to continue on with their run. And we'll go to the judges. Victor Alves on the left, Alan Hines on the right. Winner will be our first driver into the top 4 here at Autopolis. And there it is, unanimous decision. Alan Hines gets the win, and we'll see him in the top 4 in just a little bit.
We sure will, as we're waiting for our next battle here at the start line. Poleski versus Mustafa Amine. Here comes Mustafa. It always worries me when they're not at the line right away. I'm always thinking, oh no, are we going to have a bye run? We haven't had a bye run in a long time, so no bye runs. Be at the line. Here we go. Poleski in the lead position. Mustafa Amine in that Hankook S15, ready to give chase. Clean through the start gate, and off they go. Econ off to a great initiation. Mustafa Amine really putting it to Ticon there, though. Oh, almost no room for that transition. Keeping that proximity there, but losing a bit of ground as they come through the next inside clip. Transitioning to that final outer zone. Mustafa Amine trying to get it back on the door of Ticon. He does, all the way through that outer zone and cross the finish line.
Yeah, good start. And Mustafa applying a bit of pressure here in that chase position while Ticon continues on with a really good lead run, enters in, holds that momentum, does go up onto that rumble strip just a little bit, but fills the next outside zone nicely while Mustafa applying the pressure through that first transition, but then drops back a little bit through that power alley section and then reeling him back in after the last and final transition. There they go across that finish line, finishing out the first half of their top 8 battle.
Who is going to face Alan Hines in the top 4? Will it be Mustafa Amine? Will it be Poleski? Mustafa, start line's way up here. Getting some heat into those tires. Got to get a little bit of heat in there. Here we go. Mustafa in the lead. Ticon now giving chase. The light goes solid and off they go. Mustafa's got to have a very clean lead run here. Initiating in, Ticon's already right there with them, almost on the door as they come through that inside clip to the outer zone. No room for that transition. Right back onto the door comes the robot himself, Poleski. Look at that proximity from Ticon. They make the transition into the final outer zone, and Ticon is just right there on that door as they cross that finish line.
Yeah, Ticon beat Boot Poleski, does it again here in the chase position against Mustafa Amine. Well, Mustafa, really good lead here, but Ticon just jumping onto the door immediately, staying with him through turn 1, right along that bumper through that first transition, and then jumping right back onto the door and staying with him through that power alley section. Last and final transition, and you see Mustafa hang a wheel out in that grass just a little bit, And there they go across that finish line. Here we go to the judges. Tingai, Poleski on the left, Mustafa, Amine on the right. And again, winner moves on to face Hines in the top 4, where we just saw Hines and Tingai Poleski in the final battle of last round at Burnout. And there it is, unanimous decision. Tingai Poleski gets the win. And we've got a crazy final 4 battle ahead of us.
Yeah, that's going to be another Darius Ostrich battle right there coming up. So, what about his teammate? You're not seeing double. That is Reese Tatterson in that lead position up against Austin Zalewski in his A90 Supra. Reese Tatterson in the lead position. Austin giving chase. They get the green light to go and start their battle. Who's going to take the next spot in the top 4? Initiating in, Austin applying all sorts of pressure, but a little shallowed up there as they go to try and make that transition. Austin right back to applying that pressure onto Reese Tatterson as they transition down to that final outside zone. And looking good there. Look at that aggression from that chase driver.
Absolutely. Austin coming out today and really putting on a show here and doing the same in this chase position against Reese Tatterson. Reese entering in. Very nice along the inside clip. Does hang a wheel over that rumble strip. But there you see Austin Zalewski along the bumper and then chasing him through this power alley section. And then you won't be able to hear it on the replay here. But Reese hanging onto that angle maybe a little long. Has to really massage the throttle to grab some grip out front to make that final transition, but Austin doing a good job to still hang back, let that transition happen, and then jump right back onto the door.
Well, back at the line for the second half of their battle. Austin Zalewski out front. Reese Tatterson giving chase. Who will make the next spot in the top 4? Austin lighting up those tires as he gets out of the start gate, initiates in, but there's Reese Tatterson right there with them as they come through that transition, leaving no room on the bumper. Wheel to wheel, door to door as they come through that outer zone down into the inside clip. A little touch there from Reese Tatterson as they transition into this final outer zone. Reese is just laying into that door of Austin the whole way around that outer zone.
Yeah, Reese really trying to apply the pressure and move on into the top 4, but maybe pushing a little bit too hard as we go back to the replay here. Good initiation from Austin. Maybe a little bit inside of that inside clip, but stays off the rumble. Keeps things going. There you see Reese dropping down to the inside, sacrificing a little bit of line, and there's the contact from Reese Tatterson in that chase position. And hats off to Austin Zalewski to keep things going. Still able to make that last and final transition, which is really hard to do after being tapped by the chase position in that section of the course. We'll go to the judges here. Left for Reese Tatterson or right for Austin Zalewski. Another close battle here in the top 8. Judges may take their time, make sure they're seeing that contact for what it is and make sure that it isn't any fault of the lead position. And Chris and Carl choose Reese Tatterson, and Matt chooses a one more time. But Reese Tatterson is going to get the win and move on to the final 4.
Well, final 4 for Reese Tatterson. Congratulations to him. As we have our final battle here of the Grade 8. Logan Daniels in the lead position in his S15 up against the A80 Supra of Oliver Eppinger. Oliver has been on a tear in that chase position. Let's see if he can keep that momentum going.
There goes that starter.
Just waiting for the other goes that starter. Just waiting for those lights to go. There we go. Light goes solid and off we go for the first part of this battle. Initiating in, Logan Daniels right there already, though, is Oliver Eppinger. Logan doing a good job to keep that for the first 3 clips in the line that he needs to take. Oliver Eppinger really trying to put the pressure down, though, on Logan Daniels as they come into that last outer zone. Now putting it onto the door is Oliver all the way through to the finish.
Yeah, good start to our last and final top 8 battle between these two, Logan Daniels and Oliver Eppinger. As we go back to the replay here, Logan out front, good initiation in, holds that line very nicely through turn 1, but does come up a little shallow of outside to continue on through the power alley and starts to pull a little bit of gap on Oliver Eppinger. They make their last and final transition, leaving a little bit of room on the table is Logan Daniels out front, and there they go, finishing out the first half of their battle.
Now the second half of their battle and the last battle here of the Grade 8. Who will go to see Reese Tatterson in the Final Four? Will it be Logan Daniels? Will it be Oliver Eppinger? The lights go solid and off they go. A winner will be decided. Initiating in, Oliver Eppinger right with him, Logan Daniels. They come through that inside clip, just nicking that rumble strip as they transition up the hill. Logan Daniels trying to stick with him, going a little bit wider than Oliver as they come through that next inside clip. Transitioning now into that final outer zone. Getting onto the door is Logan Daniels, but who's that going to be for a winner?
Yeah, I think another really tough one to call here as we go back to the replay. Oliver Eppinger out front this time in the A80 Super. Logan Daniels giving chase. And here we go with that initiation from Oliver Eppinger. Super snappy, but does leave a wheel on that first rumble strip. Transitions across, and here you see Logan go a little bit wide, a little puff of brown dirt back there, indicating that he did drop just a little bit of tire along that third outside zone, but they continue on and he applies the pressure in that last and final outside zone. And we'll go to the judges for the last time here in the top 8, and quickly Oliver Eppinger gets the win and moves on, and he will face Reese Tatterson in the Final Four after qualifying 30th today.
Good job from Oliver on getting that win. Definitely deserved, and he's been on a tear this whole time.
Absolutely, and we'll pull up that bracket one more time here, seeing how it has played out. And Alan Hines and Tikon Poleski up next, and then Reese Tatterson and Oliver Eppinger to round out the top 4.
Here we go. Tikon Poleski in the lead position, getting chased down by Alan Hines in that Pro Drift Academy S15. Initiating in, Tikon Poleski right with him is Alan Hines, keeping it on the door as they come through that outer zone, making the transition through the next inside clip. Sacrificing a bit of that inside line was Alan, but still keeping it to the door of Tikon Poleski as they come through that outside zone now. Look at that, right on the door, all the way through to the end was Alan Hines.
Yeah, really applying the pressure to Tikon Poleski here. Again, Tikon out front here in the replay of their first half, their battle here in the top 4, and just applying the pressure very quickly is Alan Hines through turn 1, drops back just enough to make that first transition happen. They keep it going through this power alley section while Tikon's on a really good lead line, settles into that track edge white line there, keeping it going, and Alan Hines right there with him to finish out the first half of their battle.
Now back around at the start line, Alan Hines in the Pro Drift Academy S15 in the lead position. The fresh S14 of Tikon Poleski. Ready to duke it out to see who's going to move on to the finals and who's going to have to go to that third place matchup battle. Alan Hines gets away good. Tikon right with him as they initiate in. A little closer Tikon is than Alan on the initiation as he sticks right with them, almost grazing the bumper as they transition up the hill. Tikon is right along the door, rubbing the back quarter panel as they come across and transition one last time. Maybe a little tire drop there from Alan as they come through and holding it right to the door. Tikon Poleski, you madman.
Absolutely, just going ham here in the chase position of this top 4 battle. Alan out front here. Great initiation, but Tikhon right there on the door immediately, really before they even entered, right along the bumper through transition, picking up that inside clip and then just staying right there with him through the power alley section. Last and final transition, you see Alan drop a tire there along the outside edge. And there they go, finishing out the second half of their top 4 battle. And we'll go to the judges. Tikhon on the left, Alan Hines on the right. Just insane.
A battle. Are we going to see it one more time?
No, we are not. Unanimous decision. Tikhon gets the win, and we'll see him in the final battle here at round 6.
We sure will, but Alan isn't going far. He does have the 3rd place matchup battle, but now who's it going to be to make it up against Tikhon Poleski? Will it be Oliver Eppinger or will it be Reese Tatterson? Reese Tatterson in the Pro Drift Academy S15 in the lead position, and Oliver Eppinger in that SimSpec Toyota Supra in the chase. The light goes green and off they go. Reese Tatterson off to a good start. Oliver right there with him. They initiate in. Oliver making that dive already, getting up on the door of Reese Tatterson and making it work as they transition up the hill. Lots of angle there from Reese Tatterson as they come up, but Oliver's not letting him get away, keeping that quarter panel on his door as they transition around the final outer zone, keeping it the proximity and the aggression there was Oliver.
Yeah, an exciting first half of their battle here in the top 4. And here we go with the replay. Reese Tatterson out front and Oliver Eppinger chasing him down. Very smooth initiation from Reese. Does end up a little bit on the inside there of turn 1 and that inside clip. Oliver dropping back in that chase position to let that transition happen and then reels him back in through the power alley section of the courts. Drops back once more as Reese sets into the last and final outside zone. And there's Oliver once again applying that pressure in the chase position.
Well, Oliver trying to make it to the finals, and the only one stopping him is Reese Tatterson. Who's it going to be? The second half of this battle, Oliver Eppinger in the lead, chasing him down. Reese Tatterson, the light goes solid, and here we go. Off they go and initiate in. Good job from Oliver right to angle, but Reese Tatterson trying to keep it right there with him, and he does. They transition up the hill, leaving a little bit of space, maybe not as close as Oliver was. They come through, transitioning now to the final outer zone, keeping it right on the track edge is Oliver Eppinger, but Reese Tatterson has really closed that gap and rode the door the whole way through it.
Yeah, he certainly did, really applying the pressure all the way through this run as Oliver puts on a pretty solid lead run out front. Here we go. Entering in is Oliver's really snappy initiation, picking up that inside clip, filling the next outside zone. And very similar, Reese dropping back for that first transition and then reels him back in through that power alley section of the course, drops back once more. And then Oliver setting into that track edge there, that white line, and continues on while, again, Reese applying the pressure in that chase position. And here we go. 2 of those judges, Reese Tatterson on the left, Oliver Eppinger on the right. And good to see Reese back here in the top 4 and doing well in that Pro Drift Academy S15, as well as Oliver Eppinger. Again, returning in his 880 Supra from last season, doing very well at Misano. And now again, back into the top 4 here for round 6 of season 6.
Yeah, really just laying it down in that Supra. Like, I've seen Oliver drive for quite a while now, and kind of a different story. It looks like he's on a mission.
Yeah, just going back on those replays. And look at there, we have a one more time here in the top 4 between Reese Tatterson and Oliver Eppinger. So they'll drive back, reset, get some new tires, line back up to the line, and we'll see him battle it out once more.
Here we go. Another one more time in this whole bracket that we've done. Hey, there's been a lot of them, but normally if they happen, for good things. Reese Tatterson out front. Oliver Eppinger ready to give chase. In their one more time battle, this is the first half of it. Initiating in is Reese Tatterson. Oliver Eppinger already getting up on there, getting nice and close. They come through that outer zone, transitioning up now. Oliver putting the vendor on the door and keeping that proximity as they come through the next transition part. Oh, hits Reese Tatterson off track though, a little too aggressive. And that will be the end of this run.
Yeah, very unfortunate to see there. And we'll go back to the replay here. Reese Tatterson again out front and being chased down by Oliver Eppinger. Starts out well with Reese having a bit of a gap there, and Oliver closing the door in quickly by the time they get to that second outside zone, and then sticking with him through the power alley section of the course here. Very nicely drops back for that last and final transition. You see there just making a huge dive in that chase position to try and apply some more pressure. And we'll go back to the second half of there one more time.
Second half of their one more time. They're at the line. The light should ignite here soon. Oliver Eppinger in the lead lane. Reese Tatterson giving chase. Big mistake by Oliver in that first run. So let's see if it's clean on this second one. Reese Tatterson really putting it on the door there as they come through that first inside clip. Now to the second, pushing up over the hill, leaving a little bit of a gap there as they come for the next transition into the outer zone. Looking good so far. Reese Tatterson really putting it on the door, and could that contact be enough for Oliver to go to the third place matchup?
Yeah, I think it just might be here as we go back to the replay. Oliver doing a really good job out front in this lead position, but I think Reese did everything he needed to in the chase. I mean, even still applying pressure through the first turn in that first transition, staying with him through the power alley section, starts to drop back, and really making sure he gives enough room for that last and final transition to happen. Oliver doing a really good job, but again, I don't think that's going to be enough to take home the win over Reese Tatterson. We'll go to those judges to be sure here. Left for Reese and right for Oliver Eppinger. Again, unfortunate to see with that contact between those two coming into the last and final outside zone of the first half of their battle. And there it is. Unanimous decision. Reese Tatterson moves on into the finals where he'll face off against Tikon Poleski. And what a battle that's going to be. But before then, we have our third place battle coming up between Alan Hines and Oliver Eppinger.
Sure do. Alan's already at the line, ready to go, just waiting for Oliver to get back there. There's Oliver now. Alan Hines in the Project Academy S15. Oliver Eppinger in that SimSpec Toyota Supra for their third place battle. Winner of this will take home the third place. Loser gets fourth place. As the light goes out and off they go. Alan Hines initiates in. Oliver right there with him as they come down to that first inside clip. Oliver matching that angle as they come through the outer zone, not leaving any room for the transition. Oliver really putting it to Alan Hines here, putting it on that quarter, transitioning now into it. Oh, hitting the back of Alan Hines, but not upsetting him. So just a little bit of contact there from Oliver in that chase.
Man, I was afraid the run was going to be over again as we go back to the replay here. Alan Hines out front. Oliver giving chase and doing everything he can to stay with Alan and doing a really good job here through the course. Alan a little bit on the inside with that first inside clip. Oliver dropping back along that bumper through that first transition, sticking with Alan through the power alley section of the course. Last and final transition. And there you see the rear bumper of Oliver Eppinger getting into the rear of Alan Hines. But again, doing a fantastic job to keep that run going.
Yeah, Alan really caught that quick and just kept it online. It was very good. But now they're back at the start gate, ready to start their second half of the battle. Who will take third place home today before we get into our final battle of the evening? Oliver Eppinger out front, ready to go. Alan Hines giving chase. Off they go through that start gate and initiating in. Oliver Eppinger really good so far, leaving a little bit of room there from Alan Hines as they transition up the hill to the next inside clip. Alan having to sacrifice some line to try and regain some of that proximity. Not as close as Oliver Eppinger was. They come into that outer zone. Alan now putting on that pressure and getting into the pocket and pushing it through to the end.
Yeah, good second half here as we go back to the replay. Oliver Eppinger out front for maybe the last time tonight. Entering in very snappy and as you pointed out, leaving a little bit of gap between him and Alan, filling that next outside zone. Alan sacrificing some line there in the chase to reeling back in through the power alley section. Last and final transition, Oliver picking up throttle quickly, but does leave a bit of room on the table to be out to that very track edge. And we'll go to the judges here. Alan on the left, Oliver Eppinger on the right. Winner takes home third place here for round 6 at Autopolis. And there it is. Alan Hines gets the third place win. Fantastic driving all day from Alan Hines and Oliver Eppinger putting on a show today.
Here we go. The moment everyone's been waiting for, the final battle. Reese Tatterson versus Tikon Poleski. Reese Tatterson in the Pro Drift Academy S15. Tikon Poleski in the chase lane in that fresh S14. So here we go. Let's get this final battle underway. The lights go up and on, and off we go. Reese Tatterson laying down the throttle, initiating in. Tikon right there with them, matching that angle as they come through that first inside clip. Maybe a little touch there from Tikon as they come to transition one more time up that hill. Tikon not leaving any rooms, keeping it on the door of Reese Tatterson. They transition now to that outside zone, leaving it nice and good. A little bit maybe a brake stomp there from Tikon in that chase lane to avoid hitting Reese.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go to the replay for the first half of this final battle between these two. Reese Tatterson out front and a good initiation by him and a good line through turn 1. Again, going up onto that rumble strip just a little bit, filling that next outside zone. But there, Tikon through the rear bumper of Reese Tatterson, making that first transition and sticking with him through the power alley section. And there's Reese settling into the last and final outside zone, but leaving a little bit of room on the table to be out there to that track edge and along that white line. And Tikon just applying the pressure all through that chase position.
But now back at the start line, Tikon in the lead. Reese Tatterson ready to give chase as night has fallen here at the Autopolis International Racing Circuit. Who will it be? For round 6, the Virtual Drift Championship powered by Next Level Racing, sponsored by Tire Stacks and Grip Royal. Initiating in is Tikon Poleski, looking good. Reese Tatterson getting all out of shape on that first turn, not leaving enough room for the transition. It doesn't upset the cyborg, the robot of Tikon Poleski as they transition into that final outside clip. And look at that, Reese Tatterson all over his door, a couple more hits, but I think this one is in the bag for Tikon Poleski.
Yeah, Tikon once again showing that he's very fast through the gate and down that run up, entering in with a bit of gap. And there you see Reese sacrificing a lot of that line in the chase and then the angle before making that first transition. And then again, a little bit on the inside line there through the power alley section, drops back for the last and final transition. But again, Tikon settles in nicely to the last and final outside zone. There they go across the finish line for what may be the last time tonight. And we go to those judges. Reese Tatterson on the left, Tikon Poleski on the right. Winner takes home the win for round 6 here at Autopolis. And an exciting layout. An event today. Drivers just going nuts. Qualifying just filled with 90s. And here we are in the last and final battle.
What a fun track this was today. I think even the drivers loved it just as much.
Yeah, absolutely. As we always hope, and there it is. Tikhon Poleski gets the win. He takes home the first place trophy here at round 6. Autopolis. That means Reese will take home second, and then Alan Hines third. So 2 Pro Drift Academy cars up onto the podium today. And again, just fantastic showing from all 3 of these drivers. And here they come back to the line to take their 3-man train through the course.
Maybe a little bit of a visual warning with Tikhon's headlights there.
And there they go, entering in. Alan falling back just a little bit.
Looking good out there, boys.
Absolutely. Especially, yeah, to do that last and final transition there in a 3-man train is quite difficult, and they did it well there. We'll go line up at the start gate. And again, just a fantastic showing from all 3 of these drivers. And a well-deserved victory for Tikhon Poleski once again. I mean, Tikhon has just been on a tear ever since falling short of qualifying in the Drift Masters Virtual Drift Championship.
Yeah, it seems like then he just switch clicked and was like, okay, no more messing around. We're going for this win. Not only that one, but this one.
And it looks like they're going to take another one. Keeping it going. Perfect podium lineup there with the lead in the middle. And there's Tikhon going for the overtake. Oh, no! Oh, man. Again, just an exciting event today. And I hope everybody that tuned in enjoyed it as much as we did. If you haven't joined our Discord yet, be certain to do so. You can find a link to our Discord in our link tree, because we will be releasing this track today for our Discord members, Discord early access, and then we'll release it later through our social medias and get it up on our public server for everybody to enjoy. Really fast flowing with a tricky last transition that just really makes for really good tandems if you didn't see today from these spectacular drivers. And yeah, almost leaving me speechless throughout. Again, Darius Ostrich, I feel like he should get some type of award today.
Hardest fought battle of the year.
Yeah. Literally. I mean, he's already on track to get Rookie of the Year, and I believe he'll hang on to that after today's competition. A good job by him. We'll bring up that bracket one more time to see how it played out today. Again, Tikhon taking home first place, Reese Tatterson getting second, and then the third place battle just missing there on the bottom. But Alan Hines takes home that third place podium finish.
And don't forget our next round of the Virtual Drift Championships, round 7, going to be April 23rd.
Absolutely. Right around the corner, we get a 3-week break and then another 2-week break before our final round, which will be round 8. So we'll announce that track for round 7 in just about 2 weeks. Again, thank all of our new partners and sponsors, now powered by Next Level Racing. Check them out at nextlevelracing.com. New rigs just coming out. Their GT Elite, a very affordable extrusion bar. And I must say, that new reclinable seat with the breathable fabric looks kind of ridiculous.
But it looks good.
I want it. Oh, man. As well as TireStacks.com. Check them out again at TireStacks.com. And Grip Royal. Check them out at GripRoyal.com. Winners will be receiving 3 Grip Royal steering wheels. Special edition Virtual Drift Championship Brutes. And they are fantastic with their new suede that they're using on those wheels. Very clean and pretty lightweight comparatively to the previous King suede. Well, that's going to wrap things up. Again, join us in about 3 weeks for round 7. And we'll see everybody there.